Government sources also issuing a statement or sharing a statement with the media today to clarify their position on the shifting of the Amar Jawan Jyoti or the eternal flame at India Gate. There's a lot of misinformation circulating, says that statement. Here is the correct perspective. It says the flame of the Amar Jawan Jyoti is not being extinguished. It is being relocated and merged with the flame at the National War Memorial that was constructed in 2019. It's an odd thing to see that the flame at Amar Jawan Jyoti paid homage to the martyrs of the 1971 and other wars, but none of their names were present there. The names inscribed at the India Gate are of only some martyrs who fought for the British in World War I and the Anglo-Afghan War, and thus is a symbol of our colonial past. The names of all Indian martyrs, including 1971 and wars before and after it, are housed at the National War Memorial. Hence, that is the true Shraddhanjali, and the flame will pay tribute to martyrs there. That statement goes on to say it's ironic that people who did not make a National War Memorial for 7 decades are now making a hue and cry when a permanent and fitting tribute is being made to our martyrs. This is what government sources have said on the issue. All right, let's go across to panelists joining us at this point on these big stories that we are now tracking. Major General G.G. Dwivedi, retired, is with us. Dr. Anshul Avijit, national spokesperson of the Congress, is with us, as is Vikas Pandey, who supports the government and indeed this move. Major General Dwivedi, let me begin with you. Your thoughts on, what the government is describing as the relocating of the Amar Jawan Jyoti. In just the last few minutes, the Prime Minister has also tweeted saying India Gate will now have a granite statue of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, which will highlight his contribution to India's history and indeed its freedom movement. Initially, this is going to be in the form of a hologram. Your thoughts on all of these developments that we're reporting today?
Well, Ankita, I think first and foremost, as a war veteran who fought 71 war and later commanded Siachen and Valley, I can only say that there can't be any greater sacrifice than to lay down the life for your nation. And to make these controversial, political, is rather unfortunate, doesn't behold good for us as a nation. So therefore, I feel that when it comes to honoring our veterans, war veterans, and also those who are laid down the life, there should be no politics whatsoever. So giving a little background as to the National Memorial and relocating of the flame, well, what was that India Gate was basically made by the British to honor the soldiers who fought in World War I and thereafter, but it had no connect with our post-independence war history. And it was in 1971, after Bangladesh victory, that the flame or the Amar Jyoti was installed, and to honor those who laid down their life, and there are 3,480 odd people or soldiers. And from my battalion, 14 Jada fought the war, there are 19 who laid down their life. So now making the National War Memorial was a great sort of honor because we didn't have one. And for 70 years, there was, only debate going on. And it is Prime Minister Modi's, to his credit, that this was actually installed in February 2019. And I think relocating the flame, because you can't have two flames, it is just within the same string. And just 400 meters away, I think this controversy should be buried for good. It doesn't do us any proud as a nation. And getting the flame at one place and having one national memorial, I think the right step. Coming to the statue of Subhash Chandra Bose ji, I have a personal connect. My father fought under the army of Indian National Army of Subhash Chandra Bose, and he was imprisoned for almost more than 2 years. So I have a great family connect with Netaji, and I think this is a great befitting honor that we have done, that to have his statue in the War Memorial. I think this is a great pride for our future generation, and he has a great contribution to our national freedom. We cannot wish it away. I think the government has done a great deed and also a great act to have his statue installed in the war memorial. Ankita.
Anshul Abhijit, let me bring you in at this point. An unnecessary political controversy, as Major General Dwivedi seems to think. Now the government has gone one step further in saying that, no disrespect meant to India Gate. Now it's going to have this statue of Netaji, and this is not an extinguishing of an eternal flame. It's merely a relocation. Why have two in what is roughly the same complex? How do you respond to that?
Let's understand what is going on. Let's put it in perspective. What the government is trying to do is it's a project of dehistoricization. They're destroying history, any kind of history which they are uncomfortable with, which they see that they have made no contribution to in terms of martyrdom, in terms of bravery, in terms of nation building, is what they find extremely uncomfortable and in fact traumatic. They have no history in the building of India and the anti-colonial struggle. And therefore, the entire Central Vista project itself is something that is a complete eyesore for them. They are destroying something for which they think that they've had no contribution to make. The Prime Minister time and again, Ankita, has said that the history of India begins in 2014. But before that, there were no vaccines, there was no nation building, there was no development. He's time and again said it. And that is being realized through its architectural project. The Central Vista is nothing about architecture. It is an ideological project in which you completely relay history because of you're ashamed of your past. Because it's been a gutless, spineless past, and therefore you're doing this over here itself. Now, this was also a tribute to the martyrs of 71 war. I mean, it was the war that completely
Anshul Abhijit, the argument is that why only 1971 then? Why not the wars before and after? And all of them are being paid tribute to or marked in the National War Memorial.
No, who says that others were not being paid tribute to? I mean, every time on Republic Day, the Prime Minister of this country used to go and pay homage. They were not paying homage to a select period or some select people. And also, you must remember that the names of the people, every single soldier cannot be written. There is also something called the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. You know, all over the world, a visiting dignitary first and goes and pays homage to the tomb of the unknown soldier, wherever they fought, in whichever side of the trenches they fought. They laid down their lives for their country, and that is being recognized by them. Who said that there was anything partisan about this war memorial? I mean, it's absolutely absurd. There's a bigger ideological project. The ideological masters of the BJP, the RSS, had no contribution. In fact, they supported the British in the anti-colonial movement.
Let me get in Vikas Pandey to respond to all of these things. Vikas Pandey, you can't, Anshul Abhijit's argument is that you can't look at things in isolation. Look at what's happening to the entire heart of Delhi, as it were. The Central Vista project, which aims to completely redesign the heart of Delhi. And now the Amar Jawan Jyoti, which has been a part of India's history for the last 50 years. A lot of people's emotions are tied up with it. There is this sense that, it's been the flame to the unknown soldier. All of that is being taken away. For what reason? Why could both flames not have existed simultaneously?
Ankita, first of all, I am honored to be with Major Dwivedi here, and his contribution is well known. And he mentioned one thing, that it is an unnecessary controversy. It is not an unnecessary controversy. It is unfortunate, yes, but it is not unnecessary. It is necessary because it shows what kind of nationalism, what kind of face Congress follows. Morning time routine of Mr. Gandhi is to tweet something nonsensical, fake news, everything, and it was clarified by government that it is just shifting the flame there. It shows that while they spent 70 years building their own monument, their own building, naming different projects in Gandhi family's name, they couldn't even muster enough courage or fund for something like National War Memorial, which Modi ji has done. So it is just very unfortunate, but it is very necessary to show their real face. The overall cost of all the Gandhi and Nehru
memorials. Are you then rejecting the Congress's criticism that this is an attempt to rewrite history?
It is not an attempt to rewrite history. It is our history. All the names are being written there. They are all being surrounding the new Amar Jawan Jyoti. What is wrong with that? They are making unfortunate controversy that the flame is just being shifted and it is already there. All the names will be there. What was the means all the 70 years with such a great country such as India, they could only make 4. Well, it is very close to our heart, but it is painful that such a big economy and such a big country with such a great...
I think the question people are asking is, with such a big economy, is it really going to cost the government all that much to have two eternal flames running, since this is a matter of sentiment as well and certain historic association. But anyway, let me bring in my colleague Himanshu. Gentlemen, I'll come back to you in just a moment. Himanshu joins us on this larger story now. The Prime Minister's tweet on how there is now going to be a Netaji statue at India Gate. Himanshu, what are we hearing at this point? Interesting that it comes at a time when there's been so much controversy over what is being described as the relocation or the merging of the Amar Jawan Jyoti.
Well, Ankita, there are a few things I wish to put before you. First, government sources are telling us that this year, the 26th January function actually will start on 23rd January and not 24th January, which has been the convention so far. And the reason is that 23rd January is also the date on which Subhash Chandra Bose was born. And Prime Minister has tweeted that on 23rd January, he would be unveiling the statue of Subhash Chandra Bose, a hologram statue, right in the canopy that you can see just behind the National War Memorial. Just between the National War Memorial and the India Gate, you can see a canopy in your screen. This is exactly the canopy in which King George's statue used to be there. But in 1968, it was removed, and now a hologram statue of Subhash Chandra Bose will be installed here. As you know, that at 3:30, Ankita, the Amar Jawan Jyoti law is also being shifted here to the National War Memorial, and clearly this has become a subject of a national debate. But it is very clear that government now wants to start a new tradition. There are lots of changes being done now, not only to this structure, the National War Memorial, but the entire India Gate campus is being renovated, and now we see the beginning of a new tradition, lots of changes in the existing convention, and the big start of this will begin on 23rd January when Prime Minister will come here and he will unveil a hologram statue of Subhash Chandra Bose. Government sources are also telling us that this is part of the government's new thinking, that every leader who has contributed to India's history, India's independence, his memory should be celebrated. He should be given the right place in the annals of history. And as part of this new thinking, the Subhash Chandra Bose's statue also will be constructed here, which will be around 28 feet 6 inches tall. The construction work will start soon, but at the moment, Prime Minister has tweeted this, that on 23rd January, the Republic Day celebrations will begin when he will come here personally and install a hologram statue of Subhash Chandra Bose. Ankita.
All right, Himanshu, thanks very much indeed for that update. A quick word once again from our panelists on this. Anshul Abhijit, this announcement from the government that really the focus is going to be on other leaders and their contribution. Your thoughts?
No, certainly you should have every leader who's contributed to the development to this country should be honored. How can there be any dispute about that? What I'm trying to say is that the government is trying to destroy a past in which it is ashamed of and it has no contribution to make. And they want to completely relay the history, the historical future of India. They're doing it in our history books, by the way. They're doing it in our renaming of cities and of towns. And there's a particular partisan stance to it. I mean, who can deny that? So this is a mischievous, malevolent...
Is it your point then, Anshul Abhijit, that to bring in a Netaji statue is a partisan thing to do?
No, absolutely not. Look at the irony, Ankita, and you pointed that in your introductory remarks, that the tableau which honored Netaji was being undermined because you have to undermine the federal structure of this country. So you're not honoring the federal structure of this country. You are setting the agenda on your own terms and with the brute power of the executive. That is what is being done. Of course, we should honor whoever has contributed.
Yes.
Who can doubt the contribution of Netaji to this country?
All right. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you all for joining us on this discussion. We'll take a quick break. More coming up.